guys! So welcome to my channel. I did film an intro video a couple of weeks ago, however I didn't like it. I couldn't even not like it because I didn't make it. I filmed it, but I just thought that I'd rather do this one as like a starter video instead. We are currently in lockdown, hence why I've had this amazing idea to start my own channel, because me and Leah, got a little picture here, can't even see it, did have a YouTube channel, do have a YouTube channel for uni and stuff. However, now we're on lockdown, we aren't with each other, so we cannot film, unfortunately, hence why I have started my own channel. And I thought, what better thing to make it about than my course, because I know when I first went into children's nursing, I didn't really know what I was going into that well, hadn't had much experience, and I wanted to know, I had a lot of questions that needed to be answered, and I watched so many YouTube videos about my course, about the uni, so I know how helpful they can be. I thought it would be nice to start this channel with a video about 10 things to know about doing nursing at UEA. So I am currently in the middle of my second year. I'm over halfway through my second year of studying BSc Children's Nursing. And I'm loving every minute. Obviously things are a bit up in the air at the minute, so this video will be about normal nursing and normal student nursing, and hopefully what it will go back to in September, not this kind of midst of a panic we're in now. So I have a notes sheet. I know I have such a bad memory, and I thought I would just put to you 10 facts. This is going well. I thought I would put to you 10 facts that are good to know before looking into children's nursing or nursing at UEA, 10 things to know about UEA, just general facts, that will be a nice starter video for the channel. So the first fact is there are 4 nursing options to study at UEA, and probably most unis, I am assuming. So you have adult nursing, which is the most popular, children and young people's nursing, which is what I do. There's lots of different names for it, but I think it is officially children's nursing. You have learning disability nursing, and then you have mental health nursing, and obviously the name kind of gives it away. I don't know much about other fields, so this is going to be very child specific probably. So fact number 2 is how the course is structured. It is very, very different to any normal university degree. So whereas a normal university degree like history, English lit, geography, things like that are all theory kind of in uni, nursing is very different. It is not a normal degree, and you need to be prepared for that, and you need to be 100% committed. It is 50-50, so it is 50% theory and 50% placement. I know that after my year, the first years, the course kind of structure changed. So I have 6 modules over the 3 years. I have 2 modules a year, and in that module I have 50% of it theory, and then I go out on a placement for 9, 10, 12 weeks. So I have 2 placements a year, and they're big block placements that are like a good amount of time. However, I will put the link to the UEA Children's Nursing overview in the description, so you can click on that and it will just talk you through how the new course is structured, because I know it's structured slightly differently, but it's all kind of the same concept. Looking at the 50% theory is assessed in many different ways. Obviously it is quite hard to assess nursing because it's such a skill and so very subjective, but we do all different things. You get assessed through assignments, exams, case studies, practical exams, which are called OSCEs, group presentations, and a literature review. They're all very interactive and interesting, and like you can make these assignments how you want to make them, because you can look at the research that you want to look at and stuff. My main exam is coming up next month actually, which is about anatomy and physiology, research, and then a clinical scenario, but it's really not as bad as it sounds. The uni is so supportive with all our assignments and exams, especially during the current situation we're in. OSCEs is the one that always scares people. The practical exam, it is scary, because you can crumble or you can be on it on the day. It really depends, but if you get your prep in and that, it is really fun to do. And it's no different to being out on practice. You're never going to do an OSCE before you go out on practice. You're always going to have prep placement experience then when you do your OSCE. And then group presentations, so we do like seminars, which is like inquiry based learning, where you work as a group and you get a scenario and you can feed out the interesting bits that you want to look at. So if we're looking at a family, I could look at the little child and look at a topic that interests me. And then your literature review is your 3rd year dissertation, which I can't tell you much about because I haven't started it or anything yet, but this time next year I'll let you know how that one went. So it's assessed through a whole range of different sort of assignments, exams, assessments, practical exams. Placements are assessed through an assessment of practice and timesheets. So I don't know if this has changed for 1st years now. Again, it will be something that you can look into through UEA's website and stuff. But my placements, I know that 1st years are now electronic, so you won't get the paper like I do. But I go on to placement. For example, I'll go on to the local children's ward for 9 weeks, do a placement here. I will have a practice assessor who will assess my paperwork, and I will have a practice supervisor. So a practice supervisor, you will work with them and your supervisor can sign your skills and all of this. So I have a skills book. I don't think 1st years have this. I have a red skills book that I have all these skills that I've got to sign off, like communication wise, injections, medications, all of this. And then my assessment of practice is the main document for that placement. That is how you're going to get assessed on the placement. You have an initial interview with your practice assessor or supervisor, where you just kind of talk about what you want to get out of the placement and stuff. Then you fill in your formative. So if you're not aware of uni terminology, formative means like mock sort of thing. Doesn't count towards your grade. Learning outcomes, where you just fill in evidence. So the learning outcome will be like, showed compassion and good communication skills. So you would put like, oh, I supported a mum who was breastfeeding her baby, or something like that. And then your supervisor and assessor can sign that. And then you do a middle interview, which just sees how you're getting on during placement, kind of like a rolling progress report. Get that all signed, and then you go on to your summative outcomes, which are just further on from your formative outcomes to kind of provide evidence of what you've been doing on placement. And it's really nice, like, to keep log of what you've done on placement. So I have a placement diary where every day on shift I will keep my placement diary up to date with things that I've done. So if I've given an injection, administered medicines that I haven't done before, or if I have gone down to surgery, if I've watched a birth, if I have done a set of OBS, anything, I will write that down in my placement diary, because then I can look back and put it all in my learning outcomes. And then you have a final interview in your placement where they just kind of pass you or fail you. Like, I think if you get failed, you'd know throughout the placement if they were concerned about that. But I hope that all makes sense. That's quite a lot of information, and it's probably not like an essential piece of information to know when just applying, but it is interesting to know and consider how you will get assessed on the course and on placement as well, because placement's such a hard thing to assess. But my top tips would be to keep a placement diary, keep up to date with all your paperwork and things. Okay, I think I am on fact number 4 now. It's quite hard to keep track because I keep going off on tangents. Sorry, I'm a bit of a babbler. A bit of a babbler. I don't know, I babble. Anyways, fact number 4 is that lectures and seminars will take place anywhere around campus. UEA is a campus uni, which is lovely. When I was looking at unis, I didn't realise how important and how beneficial this would be to me, but it is so nice to have all your buildings kind of on one kind of area. And UEA is such a lovely campus. You've got the lake, you've got the bar, the SU shop, the library. You've got such lovely places around UEA, and it is so nice because if you come out of a lecture and you want to meet your housemate for lunch, you can. It feels like such a community. So one of the main buildings for health science students, which you will be classed as a nursing student, is the Edith Cavell building. This is slightly off campus. It's probably from that end of campus, it is totally that end of campus, and that will take you about half an hour to walk. But it's such a nice walk through campus, and it won't always take you half an hour, because you could be in a lecture in the middle of campus and then walk across the playing fields, and it's just located next to the hospital, and it's such a nice, like, I think it's quite newly built building for the health science students, and it has all the skills labs in, all like the practical sort of side of nursing in there. But you will be placed anywhere over campus. You could have the whole day in the Julian Study Centre, but then you could have half a day in the Thomas Paine building, and then your last seminar in Blackdale building. But like I said, as it's all on campus, it is all walkable, and if your lectures are back to back and you have to walk somewhere but you've got no time to do it, lecturers will be lenient with this, and they will let you go 10 minutes early, or they will know that you're going to be 10 minutes late. Next fact is you cannot pick your placements. Where you are for your practical side of the course isn't up to you. I think if you were to email the uni and say, oh, I'm really interested about doing a placement in a hospice or something, they would try and facilitate that. But really it's just based on a number of factors, and at the end of the day it really doesn't matter where you're on placement, because you will get such a good learning experience from wherever you are. Like, my first placement was at the Norfolk and Norwich on the children's ward. My second placement was at West Suffolk on the children's ward. They were totally different environments. Both children's ward, general children's ward, totally different environments, totally different learning experience, because I done them. One I done at Christmas, one I done in the summer. And that makes such a difference. Different people, different patients, different levels of care. Uni will provide you over your 6 or however many placements you're doing with a range of experience. I have done 2 general children's wards. My last placement was on neonatal intensive care, which was amazing. And then this placement was actually meant to be on in the community, schools or health visiting, which I was really excited for. Unfortunately, that isn't going ahead now due to COVID-19 and all of this stuff going on. However, uni have reassured me that I will still get this experience next year, and they will provide me with the full experience. So you will get a range of placements differing from hospital wards to care homes to hospices to neonatal intensive care to A&E, and if you're adults and stuff, you will get a range of wards: cardiac, respiratory, orthopedic wards, loads of different experience. My 6th fact, which probably should have been my first fact, is that UEA is actually 5th in the UK for nursing. It is such a good uni for nursing, and I am biased because I go there, but it is lovely. It is a lovely campus uni, like I've mentioned before. Lovely teaching staff, really supportive, and you can see why it is 5th in the UK for nursing. So it is a really prestigious uni to go to. It may not be a Russell Group uni, it may not be the biggest uni in the world, but it is a good uni to go to, and they link with so many different hospitals and so many different experiences. And now they're linking with Addenbrooke's, which is such a big hospital to get experience in. But yeah, I would recommend this uni. Obviously that is my 6th fact. It is a very biased 6th fact. But my next fact, it doesn't matter where you are, you can request being closer. Again, I don't know how that works if you email the uni or whatever. It all depends on whether you drive or stuff, but you will get placed all around Norfolk. So you can be at the Norfolk and Norwich Hospital, you could be at the Queen Elizabeth in King's Lynn, you could be at the James Paget in Great Yarmouth, you could be West Suffolk. I even think they're linking with Addenbrooke's now, which is Cambridgeshire. So you can be, and obviously West Suffolk is Suffolk, you can be anywhere around kind of East Anglia, which sounds daunting and it sounds scary. However, it is possible. Like, when I first came into this course, I was really worried about how I'm going to get from placement, how am I going to deal with it? But you do, and you figure it out, whether it's public transport, whether it's driving. It is doable and it is possible. And if you are living in Norwich but your placement is in King's Lynn, it does mean long hours, it does mean an hour's drive, even more. but it is worth it, and you will be committed to doing it if you are truly committed to the course. My next fact was that you can claim back petrol and accommodation money. However, I have just linked that in with the fact that the travelling is possible, so I'll kind of make that one fact. The whole placement is possible to do. It sounds daunting, it is scary, it is tiring, but you do come out the other side and you will learn so much. Petrol and accommodation wise, you will be spending quite a bit of money if you're travelling to King's Lynn from Norwich or wherever, on petrol, on maybe hospital accommodation if you're staying over, on private accommodation, but you can claim back through the uni. You can only claim back once your placement is finished though, and it does take a while. I think when I claimed back my petrol money for West Suffolk, it took about 3-4 months to come through, and it really depends. You just have to fill out this form, travel and dual accommodation form, keep receipts, keep petrol receipts, keep accommodation receipts, keep track of the money that you want to claim back, and you can claim it back. Okay, so my 8th fact is a big one, I think, and I want you to all listen to this one really carefully, because if there was one thing that I wanted to know before I signed up to this course and before I went to uni, it was this: you can live a normal student life doing nursing. It is an intense course, I am not going to deny that. It is one of the hardest university courses to do because it is so different to anything else, but you can still get the student experience, and I back that 100%. If you balance your time right, work hard, you can still play hard, basically. It works both ways. If you put the time in for your work, you will get time out for yourself. So you can still live in normal first year accommodation at uni. I lived in Hickling. I will do a separate video all about UEA and the accommodations. I lived in Hickling in a flat of 12 of us, and I still had a really good uni experience. I still went out lots. I still go out lots, but my degree is still my priority, and getting that time right and the time management is what allows me to still go out lots. But I just wanted to reassure you all, if you're thinking of doing this course but you're worried that you won't get the full kind of uni experience, you will, and you can if you balance it hard enough. You can still go out with your friends, you can still do nice things. Like, even when you're on placement, the maximum time you should be on placement is 3 days a week, so you will still get them 4 days. So if you were to take up 2 of them days for theory work and writing an assignment or doing your learning outcomes, you've still got 2 days. It may be weekends and stuff, but people go out all the time at uni. It doesn't matter if it's a weekend or not. When you're on long hard placements, you want things to look forward to get you through the shifts, and my friends at uni are my biggest support networks, and without them I wouldn't be able to get through my course. I'm getting emotional because I miss them so much. My uni friends literally get me through my course, and my closest friends at uni, only a few of them are on my course. Most of my friends at uni aren't even on my course. They do something like geography or law or things like that. But I live in a second year house with no nurses. Next year I'm not living with any nurses either, and I still get on perfectly fine because I balance my time well and I work hard towards my degree, but I also take that time for myself. So I just want to emphasise that fact 8 is you can still have a social life and you can still make the most of your uni experience. So please do, and like, use that as your downtime and the things to look forward to and get you through a week. Okay, so my 9th fact is about the actual interviewing process that you will probably be either now going on, or you maybe would have been on, or that you will get after applying for UEA children's nursing. So I applied for 5 different unis for children's nursing, and I got an interview at all of my unis, because I think all unis will probably do interviews for nursing, because it's such a personality sort of characteristic degree, isn't it? Like, you have to be a certain type of person to want to do the course. So I thought I'd talk to you a bit about the interviewing process and what would happen. So you have just applied online through UCAS to do nursing at UEA. If you have gotten an interview, don't be scared. They are not as bad as they seem. I will do another separate video on interviews and what they want to hear, and what will get you through them, and how to prep for them if you want. But the interviews themselves are MMI interviews, which are multiple mini interviews, which are actually so lovely. For me, there was about 3 stations, and I'm not really sure how long it lasted on each station, but the interview was over within like 30 minutes. It might change year on year, but they still do a multiple mini format. So you will work your way around a room on a one-to-one interview with I had a student, I had a lecturer, and I had a healthcare professional, an actual qualified working nurse, and you just kind of work around them. They'll ask you one question and you will answer that question in full depth. So I had one interview that was asking me, if you saw this old man in the street, what would you do? Then I had another interview asking me to talk about my personal statement and all the things in that. And then I had another interview, I think it was like what attributes do you carry that are good for nursing or something. So it's a very personalised interview, and if you're passionate about doing the course and that, you should be able to breeze it, and if you prep hard enough. But again, I will put the link to the BSc Children's Nursing UEA page down in the description, and hopefully that will just talk through it a bit more. And I will do a separate video if you want about the nursing process and how to prep for it. So was that fact number 9? I think that might have been fact number 9. I wrote a list and I'm still all over the place. I didn't do it in order, so I didn't really help myself. But the course is taught with all fields. So if you are applying to do children's nursing, you will be taught with adult learning disability and mental health nurses, which brings so many benefits. Obviously, it can get a bit frustrating if you're sitting in a lecture about dementia and you're wanting to be a children's nurse. However, you take what you can from them lectures, and it is so lovely that a lot of my friends on the course do adult nursing or do mental health nursing sort of thing, and that kind of interprofessional learning is so beneficial. So I don't know how it's working for New Year's, but for me, I think it was something like 20% children's nursing in first year, just field sessions, which is just with your field. Then I had 50% this year, then in third year it steps up to 90% just your field. So it gets a lot more specified throughout the years. However, your field is your field. That is what you're interested in, and that is what you can focus on. So even though the fact is you will be taught as one big cohort a lot of the time, you will still be given them opportunities for specified learning, and there is a lot of support there for that. That is my 10th fact. It was quite hard to think of 10 kind of brief facts, because I kind of want to keep this video quite brief and kind of an introduction to children's nursing at UEA. And I hope it did help. I hope you don't feel like you've been bombarded with all different pieces of information. But I am going to do lots of other videos about my course and about children's nursing in general and about UEA and stuff. So please comment below, DM me on Instagram, whatever, about things that you want to see and things that will help when applying for this course or when going through this course, or any support that you may need or anything like that. So put your suggestions below. So just to kind of summarise, UEA is such a good uni for children's nursing, and if you are looking into it, please prep for the interview. Please don't be worried about it. Watch videos like this. There's never too many YouTube videos you can watch about that university you're going to. You will be in for a very tough but very amazing 3 years. 50% theory, 50% placement. Your placements will take place anywhere around East Anglia. There is a lot of support there through both placements and through examinations and assessments and assignments, etc. And please, I can't emphasise this enough, you can still have a normal uni life. Please don't think that you can't. You can. And if you work hard enough and balance your time well, you will be able to really get the most out of uni as well as your course. Whoever's watching this, I wish you all the best of luck with your uni course or your application, your interviews, whatever. Like and subscribe. Feel free to share as well, because it'll be quite nice to try and get this this channel up and running a bit more, to get all your suggestions in as well. Like, I'm here to tell you all about my course and give you as much information as I can, so please don't hesitate to ask me any questions. Put your suggestions below for other videos about nursing, UEA, or general videos, to be honest. We've got all the time in the world now, we're in lockdown, haven't we? Don't forget that the link below is for the BSc Children's Nursing at UEA. If you want to find out more information through that page, you could also find the adult learning disability and mental health nursing options as well. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope that them 10 facts have given you a nice overview of the course and of UEA. Please stay safe and well and positive. See you all in my next video.